comic book fans, welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. Now this is the part of the show where I tell you spoilers. If you have not read any of the books you see me reviewing this episode, then get a clue and don't watch this episode. Go read it, come back, then go, yeah, I agree with them on that point. But moving on, we do not have a pick of the week this week, but we do have a Fast Five nonetheless. And that doesn't mean you should diminish these books as they're not pick of the week worthy. They were still very enjoyable titles. So let's get on to why and how they were enjoyable titles. First up, from DC, we have Secret Six number 30. First of all, great Cliff Chiang cover. Go read my review about it on the site. But we have the Secret Six versus the Doom Patrol. And this is the first part of a two-part crossover event. The conclusion of this story is going to happen in Doom Patrol to boost sales on that book because Lord knows that title needs the sales. So we have this young man, Kevin, who has recently discovered that even though he's a loser and a dropout and a junkie of just stupid video games and a boring lifestyle, he was in his grandfather's will, and his grandfather was quite the badass. He had his own little super evil mafia, and they did whatever they wanted and got away with it. So he wants to have his own little headquarters on this island. Well, it's Oolong Island, and the people who are on Oolong Island are a couple of native tribes and the Doom Patrol. So he hires the Secret Six to go take care of the Doom Patrol so he can have his little volcano lair all set up. And it's a big old battle between Doom Patrol, Secret Six, and then he decides to make things more interesting and wipe out both of them so he doesn't have to worry about following any rules of not harming the natives. So it was a very cool issue seeing two, teams go at it, especially one as interesting as the Doom Patrol. I've never been a fan, obviously. And just a couple of badasses with a couple of problems of their own in the Secret Six. Good times had by all. Next up, from Marvel, we have Hulk number 29. Now this is the end of Scorched Earth, where it's, A-Bomb getting rescued by Red Hulk, and then Red Hulk having to get rescued by Green Hulk on Monster Island. And we find out that the thing that triggers Ross to become the Red Hulk isn't getting mad and furious like it does with Banner, but it's actually Banner himself. And Banner, helping him out or whatnot. He just hates Banner that much that he then turns into the Red Hulk. While they're trying to rescue A-Bomb and take care of the last of the Scorched Earth on Monster Island, they're successful, but then we don't know what's to come next. And it's revealed in this issue that we have MODOK Superior. And remember in 52 where we had the one guy who was an egg with the with the claws and whatnot? Yeah, it's kind of Marvel's version of that. I mean, there are lots of similarities between the two characters. But anyway, this is MODOK Superior now. He's, I guess, superior. And so you have Gabriel Hardman's gorgeous art. Whether it's having Hulk's battle prehistoric beasts or the new reveal of MODOK Superior. And I think that's really, really tickles my fancy in this issue. And this whole Hulk run with him and Jeff Parker. I mean, the two of them together should stay together. They're like the new Brubaker and Phillips. They should just do every project together. So says Cammy. But it's a good bang for your buck, except for the back pages. I'm not really thrilled with the stories in the back. So if you just Marvel, listen to me, make it a $2.99 book, skip the back matter, and you have yourselves a hit on your hands. That's for sure. Next up, from Image, we have Invincible number 77. And speaking of things coming to an end, in this one it's the Vulturemite War. And Mark returns back to Earth post-haste. And while he's in the ship approaching Earth, he just is thinking of the worst case scenarios that have happened. The Vulturemites have killed everybody he loves, destroyed Earth, and there's nothing he can do about it because he wasn't there. Well, they finally get to Earth. He, rushes out of the ship, and everything seems fine. There's no signs of any Vulturemites until the leader says, yo, right over here. And then there's a whole little chat between them. They say, listen, we can kill you right now. Yes, it'll ruin Earth for us, but we don't want that to happen because we don't have the strength and numbers like you guys do. So how about you just let us hide out here, repopulate, because obviously the Vulturemite human hybrids, your direct result, Mark, are working out. So give us time over the years to build our army again, then we can all battle. And Mark doesn't want this to happen. He's like, whoa, you want us to give you a chance to reproduce and come back tenfold just to conquer us, and then we can fight? Screw that. And then he remembers, well, if I don't agree to this, they're going to kill everybody I love, and that's what I really don't want. So he has to bite his tongue and say, fine, you can live here with us in secret. What I think is going to happen is they're going to discover who among them are Viltrumites, because there's like only 13 left or 37 left, something like that, and then take them out one by one. So they don't have to worry about, having to take on a huge armies. But that's what my predictions are for this series. But it is a good end to a fantastic event nonetheless. It shows that Image can compete with the big boys of Marvel and DC when it comes to events. And, this is one of the best comic books in the galaxy, or whatever it says on the cover. It's very, very good stuff. Next up from Marvel, we have The Amazing Spider-Man number 653. Now we have the Spider Slayers wanting revenge on J. Jonah Jameson after the death of his own father, and so he goes after everyone that JJJ loves. Dad, mom, family, old co-workers. And Spider-Man's kind of in the middle of it all because he's trying to prevent the newly badass Scorpion from taking down the astronauts' shuttle as it launches. And there's this huge old fight on the shuttle, and it seems that Doc Ock has his little plan, and he doesn't want the space shuttle to crash, so he helps out Parker in a way, for all the wrong reasons, I guess. But as they're falling to Earth, it's him versus Scorpion, and then he actually needs help from the Avengers to take care of all these Spider Slayers, because they're everywhere. And so then it's the Avengers, Spider-Man versus the entire Spider Slayers, all throughout New York. And then at the end, when Parker goes back to get a machine that can help out with the whole spider sense that these Spider Slayers have, he's confronted by his old boss, Max. So Max appears to know, because he's not stupid, this guy's a super genius, that maybe Parker and Spider-Man are the same person, and can he keep his lips zipped? If it was me, I'd totally keep that a secret. I mean, hell, this guy gets to be a superhero and your employee. I think that's a good work comp. You don't have to worry about any villains coming by. It's a good issue. The thing I like about this issue and this series is while it's like 50 pages, it's still $4.99 price tag. So you're getting 2 issues in one, basically, and saving like $1. But it's a better format than, just $3.99 for 20 pages. And then a whole history of the Marvel Universe by Brian Michael Bendis. Please spare me. Just give me the story, give me the art. That's what I want. And finally this week from Vertigo we have Sweet Tooth number 18. Now since this is a great little book, it's indie in a way. I mean it's Vertigo, but it's still indie roots. It's Jeff Lemire and all. And so he decides he wants to experiment a little bit with this book. And so instead of reading it like you usually do, where it's just like, oh okay, vertically, he switches it up and makes it horizontally. Hence the cover is all awkward. And so you get a really cool format of watching Gus, Jeopard, and their whole crew get prepared to make that trip up north to Alaska. They stop by a mall, they get all the supplies they need, and it kind of bothered me at this one part because this mall seems to be fully stocked in both camping gear and woolly jackets and whatnot, things you need to survive in the post-apocalyptic world, and they haven't been touched by any of the raiders. Okay, whatever. But anyway, there's still some tension between Jeopard and Gus because Gus doesn't trust Jeopard anymore because of the whole, gave him away to the bad guys thing. But he also helps defuse a situation where they're about to kill one of the doctors that experimented on them. And Gus says, no, we're not going to do this. We still need him. We don't want to become this. But then it ends on a lighter note where a lot of the children get to experience snow for the first time. And for the first time in a long time, Gus is happy again. But knowing Lemire, knowing this series, the whole tone, it's not going to last long. But it's a great experimental issue nonetheless. It can get, it's the whole landscaping format is just great, I think. A lot of comics should use this again. But don't do landscape on one page, and then back to vertical, horizontal, vertical, because that'll get just fucking annoying really quickly. But that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, head on over to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. From there, you can see the other weekly reviews. You can see the Book of the Month reviews. You can see and read the written Book of the Month reviews, and listen to the audio version of the show, Geeky Talkie, that comes out every Wednesday. And just last week, at the end of every month, I'm going to be reviewing a top shelf book. And so my choice for the end of January was Too Cool to Be Forgotten. So you get a book of the month at the beginning of the month, and then you have a top shelf book to go out on. It's a good deal. Go check it out, especially if you're an Alex Robinson fan. If you want any of the comics I've discussed this episode, head on over to www.risingsuncreations at rsc-online.com. They have the best of U.S. comic books, manga, and collectible toys imported straight from Japan, all conveniently located at their online store, rsc-online.com, or if you're in the San Diego area, stop on by their Mission Valley location. They'll hook you up pronto. Tell them Cammy sent you, and they'll think you're pretty cool. So that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm off to watch the Super Bowl, and I say go Packers. So in the meantime, this has been Cammy's Comic Corner. I have been your host, Cammy. Cheeseheads unite. Yeah, I said it.